Emylee here, taking over the Pack Talk podcast to chat about one of my least favorite topics in the world, but most kind of self identified character trait, a procrastinator. I am talking about procrastination. Today, we are chatting about all the things that you are not doing. But don't worry. I know as soon as we start talking about this, the bubble of shame, it starts brewing, it starts creeping, it starts coming in, confronting you, all the things that you're not doing. But don't worry. Today, my goal is to overcome that. It is to talk about procrastination in a different lens. I am a self identified queen of procrastination. I used to think that I got away with it. So, like, that it was like, the fuel to my fire, because all throughout high school I would just work all night, pull all-nighters to get essays and homework done, and I would just tell people that I work really well under pressure. And because I graduated fourth in my class and had like awesome GPAs and all the things that you think matter when at that age, like, I thought I was getting away with it and that it was really serving me. And it wasn't until I started having more and more and more and more and more responsibilities and starting businesses and having families and really having to prioritize different things and have to stretch myself in different ways that I realized that procrastination is, in fact, not my kerosene, but maybe my kryptonite. Maybe it's ruining me. Maybe I need to overcome this because really it's top of mind right now because I read this awesome book. It's called Tiny Experiments. And let me see what it says. It's How to Live Freely in a Goal Obsessed World. And I just read this book because I saw the subtitle and I was like, oh, I have to read this because I am a goal obsessed person. Like, I am always like, good, better, best. Here's a framework. Here's the thing. Like, here's how to get what you want. And here's the roadmap to get there. Like, I'm all about goals. So, what could I learn from a book that is like kind of anti goals? I always say we're super anti dogmatic. So, if I got to walk the walk, talk the talk, then I got to be open to hearing about different ways of doing things and seeing if it strikes different chords in how I think about it. So I read this book called Tiny Experiments by Laure, and it was amazing because I've always been a go-getter, and this chapter specifically on procrastination is what struck me first and why I'm bringing it to you. So this is a book that I just read. It's not like a masterclass I've done or anything. I'm just sharing it with you because I have absorbed it. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and now I want to share it with you and kind of her thoughts on procrastination. So really, the reason why procrastination is not good fuel and not good for us is simply because it starts the cycle of shame. Procrastinated is rooted in shame. So you are meant to feel bad about what you are not doing. And so you instantly have a reaction and a feeling caused by inaction, right? So it's like, an example would be like skipping a workout, right? So it starts off with like, oh, I'll go later, and then I'll go after my workout, and then I'll go after dinner and drinks with my friends. Just kidding, I didn't go tonight. I'll go tomorrow, and then I'll go the next day. Oh no, it's been 3 weeks since I've worked out. Now I feel miserable, and I'm a worthless piece of like, it just, like, the rabbit hole sinks down. And then maybe it's like you're delaying a tough conversation. So instead of just having it, you're thinking like you're avoiding the text back to like the friend or the coworker or the whatever. You're avoiding doing the research to think about how you should handle the said situation or whatever it is. And then you just think to yourself like, wow, I put off everything. I can't handle hard things. Like, wow, I'm such a coward, and I'm such a bad friend or such a bad leader or such a bad person. The cycle of shame continues. So again, I started reading this thing and thinking to myself like, oh my God, you're right. Like, I have been doing this to myself because every time I delay action, thinking that my future action is going to be stronger than my action now, or whatever it is that I'm thinking about it, that ultimately it causes this really deep reaction that makes me doubt who I am and what I can do and all of those things that help me move the needle forward in the first place. So there's that was kind of the first piece of it, was like just the root of procrastination is shame. And that's why we should overcome procrastination. That's why we shouldn't put the things that we say are the most important things to us, or the things that we're really trying to do, and then somehow it always ends up at the bottom of the to-do list. And so then it's the question of why, right? So why are we procrastinating? We know that it's bad because there's all this shame attached. And so then it's like, well, why is it happening in the first place? And this was where I'm sharing this with you because it was revolutionary for me. So why are you not doing the things that you say you want to do, that you say are important to you, that you say are your goals? Like, why are you not doing what you said you would do? And she boils it down into 3 different reasons. So you're either pushing things off to the side because of either the head, the heart, or the hands. So I love this. Obviously, I love a framework. I also love threes. I love triangles. I love thinking about things in nice, perfect triages. But it's like, so why am I not doing it? If I'm not doing it because of my head, I'm thinking that I don't think it's going to work, right? Like I can't imagine a scenario that it's going to work, that it's like confusing, or there's mental overload. For some reason, there's a block in the chain that mentally I'm like, this ain't going to work, right? Maybe it's a matter of the heart, that you don't want to do it, right? That there's like some emotional resistance attached to it. Or maybe it's a matter of the hands, like you literally do not know how. So there's either like a physical friction, or like you don't have the right environment or the right system or the right tools, or all of that in place, right? So I read this and I loved it. I thought, okay, why am I not doing what I say I'm going to do? Am I not doing this thing because it's a matter of the head, or the heart, or the hands? And if it's a matter of the head, it's kind of like maybe you just don't know where to start. Like you're kind of just like, you overthink it, you think of all the things, you spiral into this perfectionism. Like there's a myriad reasons that like your head gets in the way. Your head thinks that it's smarter, so it's just like always going to think of all of the reasons why not to do it. And sometimes that list is important, but what gets us over that is a tiny experiment. Yeah. Okay. So bear with me on this, because that's the name of this book, right? Is Tiny Experiments. So that's like the answer to overcoming how to live in a goal obsessed world, is to just live in a world of curiosity and tiny experimentation compounded over time that move you towards the life that you want to live. Yeah. Okay, so we know kind of why we should overcome procrastination, and we know kind of the 3 roots of like what's getting in the way of like what you're avoiding. And maybe you've even started to ask yourself, like, okay, is it a matter of the head? Do I just not think it's going to work? Can I not understand why it's going to work? Do I not think that I am like physically or mentally or like whatever, that I have the capacity to make it work? So is it a matter of the head? Is it a matter of the heart? Like you just you don't have the buy-in. You're not like in it. You just don't like really want to do it. There's some emotional resistance involved there. Or is it a matter of the hand? Like, do you literally not have the right environment, the right tool, the right skill set to get this action done? And sometimes just solving that problem for yourself already starts to dissipate the bubbling of shame that creeps up in procrastination. So think of maybe right now about just like one thing that you're putting off, and ask yourself, is it a matter of the head, the heart, or the hand? Okay. So then in this next part, it's my favorite part, because it goes from like the reflection, right, of like the why and all of that, to then thinking about the action, right? So she calls it making a pact. Yeah. And I always call this a bare minimum habit. So something that I am like, okay, if I want to run a marathon, well, then my bare minimum habit is that I'm going to put on running shoes and walk my dog every day, because walking might turn into jogging, might turn into bring the dog back and go out for my run, might turn into several miles, might turn into a marathon, right? You see where I'm going with this, right? So my bare minimum habit is just, what am I willing to do, even in the most laziest version of myself? So Anne calls this a pact. And what I love about this is there is a specific timeline. So it's like the framework is, I'm going to X. So I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to wake up every morning and make my bed every morning for 7 days. So she puts a timeline on it, and it's a bare minimum timeline, right? Like it could be, I'm going to do this forever. It could be, I'm going to write a line in my journal every day for a year, right? Like, so that could be a real level up. Like some people, that's like, oh my God, a year, I could never do that. Okay, well, great. Then do it for a week. Like figure out what your bare minimum habit is and then try to commit to that like it's a pact with yourself. Yeah. A tiny experiment, not something that you can fail or succeed in, just something that you're going to get feedback in, that you're going to have curiosity about. So I love this because Anne tries to overcome the shame of procrastination with curiosity, right? Like instead of judgment, start to ask yourself questions. Start to be like, oh, I wonder why I'm avoiding that. Like, that's funny. That keeps going to the bottom of my to-do list. I wonder why. And then that curiosity then leads to an experiment, leads to maybe a mini pact that you're going to give with yourself. And through that experiment, you can start to then examine, okay, did that serve me? Like, did that work? If it worked, awesome. If it didn't work, then I learned something, right? I learned what I need in order to create more cues of bare minimum habits to create the environment that I want. It also then causes me to have to look at my own values and habits and strategies to look at like, okay, well, what do I really value? And then what values, habits am I putting in place to support the values and the things that I say that I want? So, little quick framework for yourself. Where are you stuck? Is it a matter of your head, your heart, or your hand? And if it's a matter of those, then, have some curiosity and then create just a little mini micro step in the direction of action, right? Because procrastination is inaction or delaying action. So if we want to overcome that, then it's okay, what tiny action can I use as an experiment to just get feedback? Not necessarily to even succeed in that. It's just to experiment within that so that I can then get positive, negative, reinforcing feedback or something like, oh, yeah, I experimented with that and like definitely not for me in this time in my life, right? Again, no judgment, just curiosity. And then the second piece of that is overcoming this word discipline, which is a really strong word and obviously has a lot of connotation to it. And for a lot of people, a lot of negative connotation, a lot like shame, a lot like guilt. So overcoming discipline with an experimentation. So it's not a commitment. It's not a all or nothing. It's just, I'm going to try out this thing and see if it works in my life. Yeah. All right. So I invite you now to just like remind yourself that procrastination is not a personal flaw. It is not a character trait, even though I said that it was in my own, right? It's a signal. It's a signal that your body is trying to tell you something, that your mind or your heart or your environment is signaling to you that it needs something from you in order to move the needle forward. That inaction is just that it doesn't have the right fuel yet to move it forward. So ask yourself, is it a matter of the head, heart, or hands? Maybe make a list of all the things that you're not doing. And again, really avoid the initial judgment that you might feel and just put it out on paper with no judgment. And then next to it, write to yourself, head, heart, or hand. That's kind of the cue that I did. So I have like a laundry list of 25 things on a to-do list. And the bottom 5 things, I just went through and put like, okay, I'm putting it off because it's a matter of the heart. Like, I just don't even want to do it. Okay, can I find someone else to do it? Like, I know it needs to get done. So can I find somebody else to get it done? Can I delegate that? If it's a matter of my hand, like I don't actually have the skill set to do it, then okay, well, before I actually think about doing this, I need to have some pre-work to develop the skill sets to be able to do it or to get into the right environment to do it. And if it's a matter of my head, then it's okay. Sometimes it's just overcoming it with a little bit of action. And sometimes it is frameworking it out. It's building everything but so that you can wrap your head around it and then, create the action steps to go. So again, I tried to create this as kind of like a general thing. So regardless of what you're putting off, you can relate this to your life. If this has served you, then comment, like, share it with someone, DM in the comments what you are putting off, what you are procrastinating, so we can all celebrate in overcoming that shame together. And as always, it's an honor and a privilege. And thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.